Hello.
Hi.
Nice to meet you.
Yeah, nice to meet you too.
Thank you very much for giving us the opportunity to conduct this interview with you as part of our project Decolonize Fair Trade. My name is Renee Lundo. I'm the co-representative of the organization ASID Europe. ASID stands for Association for Sustainable Inclusive Development and has the aim of promoting social equity or justice for stakeholders of the society, specifically in Germany. And we are trying to provide assistance within specific timely terminated projects for marginalized group of the society with regard to some particular challenges they're facing in finding a way in the society, talking about, for instance, anti-racism, but also decolonization process that have been ongoing for some time in the city of Berlin, the land of Berlin, and what can be done to make the voices of the members of those marginalized community more visible in the debate and narrative that have been promoted in the specific fields. In this case, we're talking about fair trade. Fair trade as a concept that is fighting or trying to promote justice and equity in the field of trade, global trade, and how it's been implemented for the few decades since it's been introduced. That was like about 50 years ago. And together with Kebbeh, we're going to focus on the perspective of diasporic stakeholders who are trying to do an amazing job trying to promote justice in the supply chain. So Kebbeh, can you say some few words about yourself? Who are you? What have you been doing? So on and so forth.
Yeah, my name is Mamadi Kebbeh. I'm from Gambia and I live here in Berlin since 2000. Since 2000, I'm living here officially, and yeah, I have been work here officially before in a hospital, but as a disease cleaner. This is what I was doing for a couple of years. But then later I started to set up self-employment back in 2005. But then since 2005, I'm just struggling, from sometimes focus 100% with my self-employment. Sometimes I have difficulties. I have to go back and clean diseases somewhere in the restaurants or in hotels or in hospitals, But then since 2021, the first lockdown of Corona, I start thinking, I say, yes, now this is the time I have to do something for my people back home. Not just to take something here, bring back to Gambia or to Africa, but take something from Africa and try to bring it here and market it here. So then my people can get also good income out of it, and then me too, I can try to live out of it, This is the creation of Jakarasi, Yes.
What does Jakarasi stand for?
Jakarasi is a third name of Kebbeh.
Okay.
Because in Gambia and Senegal, or Mali, that area, when you say your family name, everybody know, this family name belongs to this particular ethnic groups. So when you say Kebbeh, Kebbeh belongs to Sarakule group. But those days they say Kebbeh Jakarasi, Jafununko, So you see, so nowadays they make it shorter, they say only Kebbeh, so you don't put Jakarasi there, you don't put Jafununko there. But back in days, as I remember when we were a child, so when you want to make us to feel ourselves, so to brace us, so we can give you even our last change, Yeah, you're gonna say Kebbeh Jakarasi Jafnunko, and then you're gonna go back in the history where
so
we were.
Generality,
yeah, so where we were coming from, who is the,
who's your grandparents, your grandparents.
Exactly. So I see Jakarasi is getting there. I say, you know what? Let me bring Jakarasi back.
Wow.
So then the young ones can know also what Jakarasi is. Okay. So it's part of Kebbeh.
Okay,
Yeah.
belongs the name
Yeah,
actually
yeah,
to a
yeah,
specific
yeah,
lineage
yeah.
of
Kebbeh
of
families, you know.
Okay,
Yeah.
I understand.
Yeah.
Very good. So, so what are the products that you're proposing in your business?
Right now, I am, since, like I said, since 2021, since this first lockdown of Corona was happening, because for me as a diaspora, I am living here. Every month, I send money back to Gambia to my family for feeding, you know. But then, since the first lockdown of Corona was happening, I said no. But this every month to send money, that doesn't make sense. Let me just go, because back home I start to research in internet first, you know, to see what the African products are selling here. So I come out with different ideas, because in Gambia you have millions of mangoes. For example, I was trying to produce mango marmalade and bring it here, you know, because in the rain season the mango cause problem to the people, sickness, dirty, you name them, you know. So I say, okay, here we need it here. So but it's only the thing is, you need to have little capital, and then you produce this marmalade if they're gonna give you the license here. But the license here, the idea is good to decide it, but to get the license here, this is a big problem. I cannot get the license here because it's a food item. They need to control it in Gambia, the quality, and they need to. So first of all, in Gambia, in German, they don't have place where they control the food. So that is out of it. And then I come with plan B. Okay, what we have there back again is holes, like these holes figures you are seeing, this grave mask and so on, you know. But I checked that one also. Is also another big problem, because you need to know every holes, you need every wood, you need to know the name, and every wood have a number. So that one also is another challenge, it's another problem. I forget that one.
You gave
so,
up,
yeah.
okay.
So I go back to the clothes. So I think these clothes you are seeing, you know.
Yeah, the
so
fabric.
this fabric. So, but that too, you need the numbers, and when you say cotton, you have to be 100% cotton. You don't have to be cotton with something different. And here they have all the instruments, they can test it, and then they can easily put you how they want it.
Yes.
So stuff also was out of it. Then I say, okay, but the basket, because myself, I can make basket when we were small. Because this, not like this basket, but we know how to do it, you know, we know how to weave them. And then I say, okay, let me just go and bring baskets here. I went to Gambia. I see an old man who I know, with generation to generation, they were producing only baskets. Normally these baskets, it's not normally how people are using them here, you know, laundry basket. No, these are traditional wedding baskets. These baskets are for wedding. When the women are going to wedding, so they give them different size of baskets. Here you're gonna put your head skate there. Here you're gonna put overtile. Here you're gonna put your rock. Different, you know. And here you're gonna put your rice. You're gonna put your groundnut here. You're gonna store it,
So
you know, different purposes. But here in Europe, they are moving like Vesacorp, or they call it slanker corp, snake baskets.
Yes, yes.
Everybody says snake baskets. Yeah. So then I went Gambia. I see this old man. I approach him. He was very happy, because this time of lockdown, normally he depend to sell this basket to the tourists, but there was no tourist in there.
Yes.
So he was very happy when he meet me. I give him first order, you know. Then I went to Senegal. I find the women are somewhere. Also, they are struggling, and they sell this basket. So I try to talk with 15 women. I said they could produce this basket for me. They can tell me what they want to have. Normally, they bring these baskets to every Monday in one market. I told them, okay, you don't need to bring it to the Monday market now. Produce it at home, leave it at home. Tell me how much you want. I will come weekly, collect it from you. And they were very happy. They appreciated. I told them, I'm going to sell you and sell myself. What I mean, sell you, sell myself, because I'm going to put them in internet. And people will see, and people will ask, who is the producer? And I have to tell them who is the producer.
Yes.
To tell them. So then their face have is going to be appear in the net, and they agree. So there I start 2021. I bring my first container. I was having a big problem there when I bring the first container.
Which was?
Because, like I said, every item you bring here is supposed to have a number. And this number, I don't know it. But I was talking with the agents, clearing agents, who they promised me, okay, they're gonna clear everything. But when the container comes, the clearing agent also, they know it, it's a trick. So they don't want to tell me the number the same day, because as long as the container is staying at the harbor,
you have to spend money.
They are getting money, custom is getting money, the harbor is getting money, the agents, they are getting money, So all three of them are getting money from me, poor guy, I have to pay them. Yeah, that's how it works, yeah. So the container was staying there, I think, for 3 days or 4 days, but I have to pay, I think, around €1,700 extra.
Wow.
Because of these 4 days whilst container is standing there, because I could not provide the numbers for them.
For the branch.
So yeah, for my wife was struggling to find the numbers, in internet, what is the Zigras, and then at the end of the day, the agents, they find the numbers plus my wife together, so we solved that problem. The container come here. So when the container come, we face another problem again, because I was taught, okay, when the goods come, it's like Africa, you can just explore them as how you want. No, here it doesn't work in that way. Yes, I have to find the photographer who is going to make the pictures for me. I have to find somebody who is going to make a website, so I have to buy the domain, I have to buy this, so at the end, I say, wow.
It's not as simple as he assumed.
No, because you compare, when you take the goods here, you bring it to Gambia, you pay the custom, you just open the shop, you open the door, and then you sell. Here, it's not like that. So I have to go through all this process, but then gradually, so I'm doing with my wife, so pictures, we do it ourselves, I say, no, I cannot pay people, because if you want to pay the photographer, professional photographer, some are asking you maybe €1,000, €2,000, so I say, no, it doesn't worth it, because if I pay that one, I don't know if I'm going to sell the product.
Yes.
So we make our own website, we design it on our own, so we are moving it little, but then to sell, that is another problem too, because people don't get trust on our own website. So you can see people will look our website, but they don't buy, because you look, there's an African man, there's an African name, and it's a new business, people don't get trust. But then a friend of mine informed me, okay, but this product, you can sell them by Etsy. So Etsy is a Western platform, and it's well known,
Yes.
So when I put my goods at Etsy, I see people are ordering my goods, but you can see the same product I'm selling by Etsy, but I cannot sell it on my own website, because people don't trust. It's an African product, and African man is selling, and it's something new, that I see, that
a difference of approach and perceived perception too.
Yeah. So, but then later I see another platform also called Fair. I put there, I see the things are more moving at Fair than Etsy. So later somebody informed me another platform called Anchor Store. I put in Anchor Store, there is even more moving than Fair. So I see, okay, and then I get another information, another platform called Order Charm. So Order Charm also I put there. There I never sell much, but still it's moving. So I'm using 4 different platforms plus my own platform. So, but you see, all these goods, people prefer to buy in, I call it in that way, Western platform rather than the African platform. Because like Fair is a Western platform.
All
it's
of
like,
those platforms,
so, but my own goods, and all these platforms have linked with my website. If you go to this platform, you will see it. Okay, these goods are coming from Jakarasi. And you can see Jakarasi official website. But they don't buy there. They prefer to buy their own people, you know. So this kind of challenges we are facing as an African entrepreneur here. And when you come to like how this check and balance between these African entrepreneurs here and like this Richtung fair, this Richtung fair is there, but we are not benefiting it. We as an African entrepreneur, because one, you look when you come to the fine, I mean fine the penalties, like when you make a mistake in the business, like we African small entrepreneurs. So when you come like a penalties, we are the same category with the big companies. Me, when I make small mistake, the fine I'm going, maybe we even get worse fine. So the fine they're gonna put on me, like the custom side or the police side or ordnance arm side, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
The penalty they're gonna put on me is exactly maybe more worse than the penalty they're gonna put like Adidas, for example, you know.
Okay.
But when you look when that in that perspective, but when you see like, for example, to bring the goods here, so Adidas have more these big companies, not let me not give name, but these big companies have more advantage, easily access to the papers and market that is last thing, but the papers, you know,
the administrative aspects,
yes,
is more
they have more, yes, because we as a small entrepreneur, number one, the financial time, the money they are requesting, like for example when you talk of fair certificate, I cannot pay that fair certificate, it's very expensive. But when you talk of fair, we are the people who is fair, because we are the, as a diaspora, we are coming from there. We know the direct producers and we have a direct link with them. We can go and connect with them like how I'm doing directly with them. But to have this certificate, I cannot get it because it's expensive.
And the process, I assume the administrative process behind it is so complicated.
It's too long, because like for example, I'm trying to go to Verladen, they call a shop Verladen. Normally this Verladen supposed to be there people like me as an African to make things easier for we as an African Gambian entrepreneur. I'm living here and they see the container is coming directly from Gambia or from Senegal to Germany here, and I'm paying all the necessary taxes. But now when I come to them now, what are they asking? The administrative papers, what they are asking, like fair certificate. How are you going to get the fair certificate? I have to go to Gambia, try to make pictures, videos, to make catalog, interview. So this interview, the people there, majority of the people, they don't go to school like me.
Yes.
So you're going to make this interview with the local language. And this local language, you have to translate it. This translation costs you big money, you know.
Money, yes.
So it's a long way, you know. So therefore, at the end, they don't want to tell you directly, no, we don't accept you. But then the conditions they put, you yourself, you know it. Okay, this
you cannot afford it.
Even when you're going to afford it, it will take you maybe a couple of years.
Wow.
So this is.
So you think the process to get access to the certificates and of course to also get acknowledged as a fair trade entrepreneur and at the same time African need to be made easier for people to really benefit those who are doing that real work fighting for equity and justice and the trade and trading with stakeholders from the African continent or the global south. So there is a change that needs to take place at that level.
Of course, because they denied us. This is the truth. They denied us because I give you one small scenario, for example. If you look, Gambia and European Union, they make a treaty that European Union going to make a fishing in Gambian water. But how they are making this fishing? I say Gambian government was sleeping or the whole entire Gambia was sleeping. Yes, because look, Gambia, we have a human resources. That we have it. You have thousands of young people in Gambia. Europeans, they have financial resources. They can produce the trawlers. They can bring maybe 10, 50 trawlers to Gambia. And then these 10, 50 trawlers in Gambia, maybe they're going to employ 300 young Gambians who they are going to go in the water, make a fishing. They can sell this fish to the Europeans, and Gambians have also a fish. So Europeans are winning, Gambians are winning. We are winning in different ways. Gambia are winning, the unemployment is going to be lower, and the income of the young people is going to be increased. And the Europeans, the immigration, this legal immigration they are talking today, that is going to be also reduced, because when you employ 300 young Gambians, you are paying them very good money. These 300 young Gambians are not going to think about, okay, I'm going to go to the desert, risk my life in the desert. If I get luck, I never die in the desert, I'm going to risk my life again in this Mediterranean. Because they have a very good income there and they are living good there. Nobody want to leave your own country to go
all through this struggle
for just like that. No, there's something behind it. And what is behind it? That is this new colonization. The colony is continuing, but different forms, Like this is a small sample, like I said, if they would say, okay, we bring trawlers, Gambian young people are going to go in the Gambian water, catch the fish, sell the fish to us. So you see, it's a win-win situation, Europeans are getting fish, they will receive less immigration young from Gambia, and then Gambian, they will have fish and they will have young people living in Gambia and stay there and they are working in Gambia. So this is win-win situation for both sides. But when you go in, like I say, the colonization is continuing, because the West, I think sometimes, I don't know, because when you look, they are talking about this immigration, massive immigration, but this is man-made thing, they know it, they just close their eyes. They don't want, maybe the citizens and citizenaries in the normal people here in the city, maybe many they don't know, but the government, the politicians, they know, because the politics, what they are playing back in Africa, that shows you the colonization is still moving. If I come to your house, I take everything from your kitchen, your food, the food you're gonna eat, I take everything from your kitchen, I bring it in my kitchen. And you have to eat, you have to survive also. But the food I take, I keep it in my kitchen. You will try by all means how you can get to my kitchen.
Yes.
That is this bad way. Because the resources, look what is happening in Africa, all these coup d'etats, so nobody welcome coup d'etat, but these coup d'etats, they have a reason, because people are tired. Because now, this global world, you don't need to come to Berlin, you can sit down in Gambia and you see what is happening in Berlin. You don't need to go to New York, you can sit down in a tiny village in somewhere in Sokoto, but you will see what is happening in New York, because now the world is a global world, They never forget, they just, because I cannot call it they forget, because it's their own creation. They do everything and they know what is there. They just close their eyes and turn back on us. So they have no option, we have no option, we have to come.
So what do you think, talking about the field of trade, like global trade, what needs to be done quickly to facilitate the introduction of goods from the African continent, specifically those who are really trying to fight for the implementation of that justice, providing stable and fair incomes for local stakeholders, producers, like you're trying to do? What needs to be done to make sure that, as I said, fair trade, you have the concept and then you have the label, right? The certificate and label. Those are two different things. The concept itself, the vision is that they're trying to make create condition environment, the trade environment that enable all the stakeholders, regardless from where they're coming from, access to the trading platform that is the planet. It means like for someone who's a producer, a local producer in Gambia or in Cameroon or wherever, the person should have the same facilities to have access to the European market as the European local producers has access to the African market.
Yes.
So what do you think that needs to be done concretely to make sure that those people who have not been benefiting, as you described in your explanation, from the benefits of the globalization as it is itself generally in trading, the global world trade, who have not been benefiting from the advantages of that globalization? What needs to be done?
I think what needs to be done is to give a room as an African people to control our own resources, fairness. The whole thing is we need to be fair to each other. Europeans are not fair to us as an African, in either you come to the government side or you come to the any level, you know. We need fairness and respect, you know. Look, the small sample, for example. Here, Mercedes-Benz, they decide how much they are selling their Mercedes-Benz, you know, the price.
Because they produce it.
Yeah, they produce it. So we, as an African producers, for example, the groundnut, I'm talking the huge resources, the groundnut, they're gonna tell you the groundnut, it's not the producers who they are going to say the groundnut market. They will tell you the world market price. This is not fair. You as a producer, you make farming, you clean your farm.
So you need to calculate your
seed,
cost,
you put your seed, you put everything,
your time,
and then at the end you make your antenne, everything. Somebody is coming from nowhere and gonna tell you this is the price for this year. You think that is fair?
No,
it's not fair, and this is what is happening in every angle. When you come to the resources of Africa, it's Europeans or Western are going to say the price. So where's the fairness? How are we going to grow? How are we going to survive? You as a owner, you cannot decide how much are you going to sell, because this basket we are doing, these are small things. You know what I mean? These are small things. But when you look Niger, like recently there was a coup there. When they tell you in Niger how much are they producing this uranium in the world, only Niger alone, you know, how many percentage? But is it Niger people are saying the price of this uranium? No. It's Western are saying the price. So you see, now there's a conflict there, because you have 4 big major players, now they are fighting, and we as a nation, we are just sitting and looking, you know, in somehow, you know. Because when you look, Russia, America, China, Europeans, these are all fighting for these resources, what we have there at the Africa. So now, they among themselves, they start to accuse each other, you know. This one, what is doing there, the politics, what China is doing there is wrong. Chinese are saying what the European were doing, because Chinese were saying, European, they forget they are colonial, they colonize these people and they forget them, what they're supposed to provide for them, they don't do that for them. China come with different vision. Europeans are accusing, China is aggressive in the market. So now, Russia put in. You see what the Russia is playing. When you look Burkina Faso, they are catching the flag of Russia, welcome Wagner's. That doesn't help us. When you go look Mali, the same thing. It doesn't help us. When you look Niger, the same thing. Gabon, the same thing. We as an Africans, because our leaders, Sobizo, those EU people there, they are there only for themselves. But what will help us if they can give us a room to decide how much are we going to sell our product to take decision on our own thing. This.
So, Kebbeh, talking about all those challenges that stakeholders, let it be local producers from the global south, specifically the African continent, or entrepreneurs from the African diaspora located in Europe are facing. What do you think that needs to be done to really implement justice, equity for them specifically, so that you can really talk about a fair trade global world?
Yeah, like I'm saying before, I think they need to give us a little room. What I mean, little room, for example, me now, as an African entrepreneur, so the goods I'm bringing here, I try to buy it from a fair price, because the people who are producing, I don't go to the market and buy. I have special people who they are producing, and I give them enough because I ask them what they think is okay for them. And they say, okay, we think this is okay for us. I say, okay, I wanted to have this type of quality. That is okay also, so we make an agreement. They are happy, I am happy. But the problem, the challenges we are facing now, here, they treat us how they are treating the big companies. And they know the income what we are getting is like surviving, because we only want to live on our own, not to live from the state resources, not to go work for someone, but to work with the people back home, like a cooperation, and fair, so then they can have a good life, we can have a good life. But the treatment what we are getting here from when you come to the tax fee, for example, is the same as the big companies. So when they will make it a little bit easier for we.
So you think there need to be an adjustment?
Yes,
an
reducement.
Adjustment with regard to the conditions under which the treatment that's being given at the legal level to diasporic entrepreneurs, right?
Yes.